Dumelang rala amohela mona mo Midday Express ka jeno go Galaxy Universal Network Channel 500 on Starset na ga lebitso ke ro re sang ngwana ha tshwane e ka jeno hen ha ke tsamakele mo ke tsamaile Mr Mbele himself mhlomong ke tsho di reto tsa go gae ke ba tshwane amphele ba hodi ba ana tshwane ya makompo.
That's all that we need. That's all we need since you're celebrating Heritage Day.
Exactly.
And thank you very much for such a beautiful, enticing intro. Oh my God. But the name is Harmony Mpele. Upele khulu nontando dlambulo langa lokulunga ombitho mbikazo sompiso ndaba ezithe kanjalo nje ebukhosini namhlanje siyabungaza sithi qha gazani nina apha emazweni ase-Afrika ngoba sikuni namhlanje sithi halala man.
Before we get into it, Harmony, I think we started off not so good.
Yeah?
I think let's just swap roles.
How?
I'll try getting Xhosa.
Oh.
Try Sotho just before we get into it.
Aye, Sesotho.
Sesotho na Xhosa.
Okay, cool.
We'll get into it.
Cool.
Okay, all right.
So in 3, 2, 1, it's on you.
Molweni sana amukela apha Midday Express ku Galaxy Universal Network. Mina ngegama ke ngurorisa umntana kaTshwane. Ngishayile.
Awuyibethile mntasekhaya, uyibethe ngqo. Ke masive mna ke. Dumelang mo Africa Borwa. Libitso lakhe ke Harmony Mpele, ngwana otswa Mapelenko nontanda kodlambulo langa lokulunga ombitho mbikazo sompisi ondaba ezitha. Dumelang lishebeletsi Starset mo hu channel 500 abarishebeletsing hu on Facebook. Yeah, ko Facebook ki Galaxy Universal Network.
How many
It's Heritage. High five.
Yes.
High five. Twat. Corona.
Now, as we move on into the headlines of the day, now we know that Album Month is nearing to an end.
And we're also going to be taking a look at Texas and complying with COVID-19 regulations.
And legislation of abortion pills sparked debate in Malawi.
And I think we're going to be getting into one that Orasang is so close to your heart and you want things to be done right. Take us through that headline.
So Breonna Taylor's verdict is causing an uproar right there. Quite a sad one, Harmony, I must say, having black lives, being lost now in the hands of white policemen. We're going to get more into that story. It's really, and it really hurts me. And then also for our Heritage Day special today, we have got Vatsonga Batuks. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. I think they must say it properly because I feel like I'm not doing justice to the
name. Was before air. So before we came, what did I say? How was I going to pronounce it?
Vatsonga Batuks.
I was going to say Vatsonga.
Yeah, no, I must say leave it to the professionals. But then we are joined by a Tsonga group right there who are going to be giving us,
Chibelane batlobi ba.
Chibelane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you say that again?
Chibelane. I think that's how you say it.
Chibelane.
Yes.
Today's good news at Midday Express, rather, where we bring you all the latest headlines and news, and still celebrating Heritage Month. We'll still give you all the stories and all the headlines on what has been happening throughout the world and in South Africa and Africa at large. So take us through our first story.
Yes, as we move on into our first story of the day now, the MMC, for Environmental Resource and Waste Management, Councillor Khosi Mabaso went out to the city of Ekurhuleni and encouraged the community to make good use of the park and trees. Now, as we know, Harmony, that Arbor Week is coming to an end, where people are actually encouraged to plant trees and to make sure that we have a greener world, if I may put it like that.
I mean, it's a beautiful one where there are even kids planting. So it was a beautiful one to know that these trees that we plant, I remember when I was still back in primary school, we did the same thing and seeing these trees grow. And it's like it's like a generational legacy that we get to live, not for ourselves, but for our own great-grandchildren, to say that we've left them at least a tree, if not money in the bank account. And
I love how now we have like recreational centers and the plants being planted in the township areas. I think it's something that we've never really seen much happening, but to see this development happening in the township areas, I must say, is quite a beautiful sight to see.
It is, and especially when we have people talking even about parks.
Yes.
A park being brought into the township.
Yes.
Even seeing children do that beautiful thing. So it's a beautiful one. Yeah. But
now we have videos right there actually of the MMC talking on this, and also the bundle of joys right there planting the trees. Let's just have a look.
So this is Kazubuti, ipark yomphakathi. And ipark maniphatha kahle. Nani ningabantu abadala. Base sokwenzekile ningavuka ekseni ngabo 5:30 nize eparkini nizojima kuze nibe namabhodi amanye. Ningeza nizojikeleza la kayi5 kayi10 ugqoka iteki ne-track suit uhambiye kakho uyogeza uclean unice and fresh. And then into yehlisa ama high blood if uyajima aboshukela bayehla uba right and healthy. Nina bobaba izanibhildela mama cell nani nifane nalabo baba laba bathi nebahamba bakhipha ama 6 pack. Ngoba bathe ngiyabheka akekho ne 6 pack. Ile 6 pack le iyo yenziwa ile phansi. Ayuthi bathe ngiyabheka yini. Masikeleni ke senze le pack ibe yinhle nizokwazi nani bobaba ukuza la nizojima nikhiphe lama 6 pack. Wakhipha ama 6 pack ubaba hayi abosisi babakubingelelayo. Awusasheli wena.
Noma nihambe nawo so vele bekamqala.
Hayi ugqoka iskipa esponsayo ukuthi ume kanjani. Hayi bese ukuthi abosisi babakushelana. Angeke ubaba uyobamba intombazana uyiphula isandla. Angeke ubaba uthi ngizakubulala wena ntombazana ngoba uzomshayelani lo ngoba bayakushela. Baningi. So ke sengichaza ukuthi i6 pack iyakhulumela. Uzani ke nizokhipha ama 6 pack la. Ukhiphe ne stress.
And that was a beautiful one. And I love how my co-host Ruro sang, her face lit up when she spoke about the bundle of joys. But as we continue moving on to the next story, the MEC of Finance and E-Governance, Nomantu Nkomo, visited the Germiston taxi rank, where she went to see if the taxi industry is actually complying with COVID-19 regulations and whether to see that the complaints that people have been saying about the industry, are they true or false? But she found out that the taxi industry is actually complying with all safety regulation in regards to COVID-19. So, Rosang, that was a beautiful one to actually see our MEC going out to see whether COVID-19 regulations and safety measures are being followed.
But then my thing is, Harmony, is it just maybe at the specific taxi rank? Because I don't think people just complain just because they want to complain. They are complaining on valid information. So I don't really think that people are complaining is because that they just want to have an outcry, but they probably are taxi ranks that aren't actually complying to the regulations. I don't know if maybe if they're still sanitizing hands when people actually go in and making sure that people are still wearing masks. So at least we know that there's one taxi rank that's complying, and actually it's also a call to all the taxi ranks to make sure that they're still compliant, because COVID-19 is still real and alive in South Africa and the world, in fact.
And I think for me, reality is, since I commute sometimes with the taxi, is that every taxi rank, because I take 4 taxis rather to get here, is that some taxis are using all the measures being put in place and others aren't. And so you'd find that in an industry of taxis or in the taxi rank that there are taxi drivers that have the sanitizer, they even pass it to their bag, be like, if you don't have it, here's mine. If you don't have a mask, you don't get on. So that's why these people are selling these masks alongside of the road at the taxi rank.
But then I also think, Harmony, it's also up to the individuals, the commuters themselves, to actually make sure that they're complying to the regulations, because now they shouldn't now be dependent on the taxi officials to make sure that the sanitizer are there. But let's just have a look there at the MEC, making sure that this taxi rank is compliant for COVID-19.
Economy. So I am happy about that. But again, in the shops, what we have realized is that at least people do follow COVID regulations. Even if we're still a stage 1, I'm sure you have seen even around the world, not everyone is not wearing a mask. So people still do wear the mask, which I think is the education that we must start doing now, of telling the do's and don'ts to our people. Wear your mask, cover your nose, cover your mouth, and make sure that you still maintain the social distance. And we've realized that they are trying, not that much because of the number of people now that are coming, but they are still maintaining that and trying. And I was very happy and positive with the openness of the managers from all the shops, that they were highlighting the critical things that they know that they are falling short of. For example, the one that I've seen, managers, including assistant managers, they don't have COVID officials. They rotate staff, but they want to hold things to themselves. They are the ones that are running around the shop trying to make sure that people follow the regulations. And hence I had to advise them and say there must be 2 people at least that are dedicated for COVID-19, because they will not always be there in terms of maintaining the standard and check if all is well. But again, we are not together. We are the Department of Transport, but we are the department team from the Economic Development and team from Ekurhuleni municipality. And in every area we've identified an official from Ekurhuleni that will be working very closely with them to ensure that they maintain what is expected of us as government in terms of the communities. Key thing that I want all of us to know out of this exercise that we're doing, even if we're at stage 1, education is still important. We must educate our citizens about the issue of COVID-19. Let's still remind them about what it has done in July, when every day we're bearing our own families. So, which means that we can fall back immediately to stage 4, stage 5, if we're not maintaining and following the regulations. So I think out there, all of us, let's educate our communities, let's educate our families about this importance of making sure that we follow the regulations. It's painful, I know, to do something that we have never been able to do before. The new normal is here, and we must move to that new normal now. Thank you.
Now, as we continue with our stories, now the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa says that they will not fold their arms and turn a blind eye on Zimbabwe as it rots under the rule of President Mnangagwa. Now, these remarks and sentiments were shared during NUMSA's demonstrations on Wednesday outside the embassy in Pretoria, demanding an immediate end to alleged human rights violations in the country. Now, the president of NUMSA, Andrew Chirwa, at the embassy of Zimbabwe said that the world of working class stood with them in solidarity during the dark days of the struggle of freedom, and touched on some of the demands that they have, including that the AU helping out. Now, let's just have a look at that.
The whole world, especially the world of the working class, stood with us and gave us their solidarity during the dark days of the struggle for freedom. I am going to the demands. I am going to the demands. Here are our demands. We demand the following. Evidence is mounting of systematic brutality of violence meted out to Zimbabwean ordinary people who do not support ZANU-PF and President Emmerson Mnangagwa. We demand that the AU must deal with this matter as a matter of agency and set up a task team to investigate violations or human rights violation abuses under the reign of ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa in particular. 2, we say should the investigation find that there is a case to answer, Mnangagwa must be arrested and he and his entire cabinet and ministers must be charged for violation, for human rights violation. And they must be trialed and they must be sent to jail. I don't know if they will succeed or survive in jail, because they seem to have few bars left, some of them. We demand an independent judiciary in Zimbabwe. Lawyers and advocates who can be able to operate independently in that country. We demand that all members of judiciary, whether judges, lawyers, advocates, must act in the interest of justice, and they must stop being legacies of the current regime.
As we continue with the leading stories, there's our arrest looming for connection alleged fraud and corruption in the Nquba Yetembu municipality in the Eastern Cape. And we are seeing, rather on Tuesday, the East London courts visited the municipality offices to search for documents linked to alleged 26 million rand fraud for several companies that are awarded tenders but did not do the job in 2017 and 2018. But none of them actually completed the work despite the money being paid to them. So we're looking at this story, and it's a hard one to know that we have people that have been awarded money over 26 million rand to do jobs within the municipality in the Eastern Cape, but that has not been done. But we tried to get a hold of Colonel Kwalase from the Hawks to speak to them on the matter, but they did not return our phone calls or that we spoke to them. But we'll try to find developments on the story.
But I really think it's quite sad to think that these tenders were for road construction and designing a community hall. We know how the roads are, unfortunately, in these spaces.
The rural areas.
And it's quite hard to be driving through the gravel. So it's quite sad for people to actually be chowing the money.
And they're eating it, and it's not, I always say something. It's not that we as South Africans don't know that there's corruption in our country, but at the state that it's happening in, therefore it allows us to be alert on what's happening.
Yeah.
So if you are taking 26 million rand and not doing what it's supposed to intend, then that's why we have so many strikes in our country. That's why we are looking at the people who are on the streets protesting as if they are not really working upstairs. If we're looking at our yesterday's story in KZN where we saw people digging up the road, then what do we say about that? Our people are protesting, but 26 million goes unaccounted for. But ESCOM as a whole, and I know it's not related to ESCOM, but we have entities that want to always come to the people on the ground to make them pay, to make them do the things, but them themselves up there in the positions because they can pay off the police ministers, all the people up there, they are not doing anything about it.
It's quite sad indeed. It's quite sad.
Shucks.
But hopefully, eventually, everyone will be brought to the book for, these fraud cases. But I guess we'll just keep getting in touch with the horse just to see the developments of this case right there. But stay tuned right here on the Midday Express as we give you more stories when we come back. Don't you go anywhere.
China saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with Starsat.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
And welcome back from the ad break. You're still watching Midday Express. You're watching on Galaxy Universal Network on Facebook. And if you're on Starset, it is channel 500 as we continue all things with the leading headlines. And Rosang, you have the next story for us.
Yes, Harashaba, story selatelang. And now this is happening all the way in an African country, Malawi. Now, religious organizations in Malawi said legalizing abortion will attract curses to Malawi. Now, peace and development advocating non-governmental organization People's Federation on Peace and Development has claimed that legalizing abortion will attract curses to the country. Now, this is according to PEFNEP Executive Director Edward Chaka, who in an interview said that abortion is total killing, hence there is no need to legalize it for the betterment of the country. Now, Chaka said PEFNEP is in support of the decision settled by the General Synod of CCAP Conference of Malawi and the Health Equity Network and the Faith Community, which are against legalization of abortion in Malawi. He said that Malawi, as a God-fearing country, should not support all laws that are pushed in pursuit of initiating citizens, families, communities, and the country as a whole to serve the devil, claiming that everyone is entitled to enjoy the inherent freedoms and right to life. Now, according to Chaka, the impact of legalizing abortion remains committing one sin after another with pregnancy and distancing Malawi from God, thus leading to one pandemic after another. Now, Chaka further said that all in all, it will have a negative impact on political, economical, social, technological, legal, and the environment, and God's laws remain supreme forever. Killing itself is a punishable act by God's law, and he has since urged lawmakers to deny passing the bill, saying only a lawmaker who does not know God will support the bill. A deep one there, Harmony.
I think it deserves that moment of silence that we gave it. Because I think I can't even have an opinion about it. That's the thing. I can't even have a 2 cents of what I think, because I can't even begin to imagine and put myself in their feet, in their footsteps, where they are walking, what they're going through, and God, using God as a shield, using God, and that's why I say it's a sensitive one to even get into.
Actually even get into, you know. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions at the same time. Some could say it's wrong, some could say it's right.
So it's okay when our government is killing the people.
Let's just move on. Talking about killing, Harmony, talking about killing, and now moving on into the US, a very sad one, I must say. Now, one we know of Breonna Taylor. Now, just to get more into the story, now the grand jury involved with the Breonna Taylor case has decided that none of the 3 white police officers will be charged directly for her death. Now, the 3 police officers were involved in the fatal police raid on Taylor's apartment that left Breonna dead. Now, one of the officers was, however, charged with endangering Taylor's neighbors. Now, the incident of the 26-year-old black emergency medical technician and aspiring nurse Taylor took place about 6 months ago when she was killed in front of her armed boyfriend when the 3 police officers forced their way into her home with a search warrant in a drug trafficking investigation. Now, protests broke out after the verdict in Louisville, Kentucky, and other parts of the protest in Louisville, leaving 2 officers shot and wounded. Now, let's just have a look there at the protest and what actually transpired.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Good? Good. You all good?
We're good.
Everybody here? Good? What did you say? Are you good? Where do you want us to go? Where do you want us to go?
Right there. Right there. Officer down. Right there. Officer down.
Yes. Yes. Okay. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Right here. Right here.
We got an officer down.
Officer down. They're backing officers out.
Officer down. Take cover. Officer down. Take cover.
Watch those right here. They're going to double back on us right here down this alley.
We got one down. We got one down.
And as we are still continuing with this story, we have NBA players who are also speaking out on the matter. And here's Jaylen Brown with his thoughts, also accompanied by Kemba Walker, speaking out on the matter. So let's have a look at their thoughts.
I can't wrap my head around it, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of at a loss for words, to be honest with you. It's a really sad situation. You know, I just really feel bad for her and her family. You know, they definitely deserve more. They deserve justice, and it didn't happen. But we as a people, we have to stand strong with them and support them as best as we can. So I wish the best for that family.
It's tough. To be honest, I wasn't surprised by the verdict. It is, It's tough. It's tough. It's hard to gather the words, but I wasn't surprised. I think that, this society, the way it was, built and the way the intentions was to never protect and serve, people of color initially. So when they were gearing up for, what was about to happen, I knew that the wrong decision was probably being made, but it doesn't surprise me. It's tough. To be honest, I wasn't surprised by the verdict. It is, it's tough. It's tough. It's hard to gather the words, but I wasn't surprised. I think that, this society, the way it was, built and the way the intentions was to never protect and serve, people of color initially. So when they were gearing up for, what was about to happen, I knew that the wrong decision was probably being made, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Until we dismantle, recreate, or, change this system that we have, it's going to continue to have victims, like Breonna Taylor and others that fall victim to oppression. It was tough getting emotionally ready, for the game, but to be honest, I wasn't surprised, and we just fell short. That was it.
How many?
Rory Sang.
Yeah, no, it hurts.
I think for me, I think you being hurt, there's a reason why. Share those thoughts with us.
So I'm hurt at the fact that the person who is charged right now is not even charged for the killing of Breonna. They are charged for now endangering the neighbors.
Yes.
So they shot at Breonna. That's okay. She died. It's fine. Bullets were found. It's okay. But now she's charged because the bullet now went into another apartment that endangered a pregnant woman and her family. What do we say about Breonna's life? Is it not that important that she died and people being brought to the book for it?
And I think, Rosang, you said something off air that I think gives this entire scenery context. So what happened for the police to fire shots? Because I think you are very vocal about what happened in the moment that they actually fired the shots.
So now they're talking about how it was a drug raid that was happening there, and then how now, unfortunately, that the boyfriend also now had, he had a firearm as well. In his defense, he also said it was self-defense, not necessarily he was just trying to fire arm, but for self-defense. And
it really gets to you.
It's a tough one. It's really a tough one.
And I think you are questioning the justice system rather than the event itself. The event happened and we can't take that back, but on a judge plea that is supposed to take a verdict that needs to happen.
And also another thing, Harmony, the narrative of now how protests actually broke out there in Kentucky, right? And then now the narrative is that 2 policemen shot, and some person now in custody or whatever. Why are they not looking at the fact that why did the protest...
They're covering up.
Why did the protest even take place in the first place? Why are we looking at now policemen are wounded? Why are we not looking at the fact that they broke out into protest because Breonna's verdict, just went...
Does this say, Rosang, because even yesterday we covered the same thing, and all our stories lately they're the same thing, where we find police officers covering up the truth or the facts that have been found out, what has been investigated. Are they now going out to the streets to stop this, and somehow 2 police officers get hurt, and that's the story they're selling to the press more than what happened with the 3 white officers that shot down Miss Taylor?
It's quite sad. It's really, really quite sad. And now we actually even have a video now of actually seeing a religious group actually now coming together, praying before the verdict happened, and unfortunately for it to turn out the way it did, it's just quite sad. But let's just look there at the Muslim American leaders who joined a 26-hour interfaith prayer just to pray for justice for Breonna. Let's just have a look at that.
I am very blessed and honored to be able to introduce our next segment with my Muslim family. We have been joined by different faith groups who have been spending an hour praying for Breonna Taylor, for her family, and also praying for those that are going to be involved in, inshallah, bringing her justice. So I'm going to pass it on to Sister Aisha Al-Adawiya, who will get us started.
You are getting a recognition, global recognition for the work that you're doing. And I pray that it will catch fire and motivate people around the world to do the very thing that you're doing, to say, no more. This is the end of the line here, and that we want justice and we want it now. And with that justice, we bring mercy with us. But we can no longer stand by idly and let this continue.
We ask you, oh God, one of whose names, your name, one of your names is justice, Al-Adl. But your justice is absolute. Your justice knows no limits. Your justice is not restrained or distorted by anything in your creation. So from your pure and absolute justice, rain down justice for Breonna Taylor. Rain down justice for her family. Rain down justice for her community, for our community. Rain down justice upon this country. We ask, oh God, the just, the most just, that her family, that her precious mother knows justice, that her precious community knows justice, and that those who will come after her can point to her case and say that this is where justice took a right turn, a righteous turn. This is where justice came to reflect the perfect justice.
Now, unfortunately, a sad story that we had here there, but then, you know, they always say after every storm there's a rainbow, and we have a whole rainbow.
And you're looking like a rainbow yourself.
I look like a rainbow, I look like a rainbow, and then of course then when we come back we have got an exclusive interview.
An exclusive
interview. We're with Ntsako right there. Ntsako, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm
Fantastic.
good. Where are you from again? The name of the group?
Vatsonga Vatax.
He said it properly.
Vatsonga Vatax.
Yeah, Vatsonga Vatax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into that interview, well, it was just supposed to give you a tease of what you guys can expect after the ad break. Well, allow us to take this quick commercial ad break. We'll be back after this.
China's saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite, because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with StarSat.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Well, welcome back from the ad break. Nisabugele na ungaphambili apha on the Midday Express, rather on Galaxy Universal Network, and we are always joined by an amazing special feature of the day, and we are giving us a brand new, it's not a brand new show, but a brand new setting for today because we are celebrating Heritage Day. And Rosang, we do have Echibelane Ridlong Hamana. I don't even know what I'm saying. But
I don't mean you're not together.
Yay!
Hello, Nsako, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now tell us a little bit about Nsako and your group. I don't even want to butcher it. Please say it for us because please say it for us and just tell us a little bit more about your group.
Okay, my name is Nsako Prince Nkona, born and bred in Benoni in the East Rand. And yeah, I am a student at the University of Pretoria, pursuing a degree in education on my 3rd year level. So the name of our group is Vatsonga Vataks, and I am the founder and the chairperson of that group. So how the group emerged was because I grew up in a community that constantly marginalized and discriminated Xitsonga speaking people. You know, so I got to varsity and realized that that perpetual discrimination and marginalization is still, you know, persistent. So, and I believe that for me we always talk about this whole notion of bringing up change and stuff. So I believe that for me to bring change, I need to be part of the change. I need to initiate that transformation. So yeah, I registered the group, and our ultimate objective is to inspire Tsonga speaking people to embrace and practice their culture in tertiary institutions of learning, not only in that but also in their respective communities. You know, so we want to bridge the gap between home and varsity and create a safe space for students to practice culture without any fear of discrimination and marginalization. So what we do is we host events, we host community outreach programs. Normally we visit schools and help learners with university applications, that kind of stuff. Recently we went to some school in Davidton. We also donated sanitary pads to girls. And we also host events, invite guest speakers, have performances, and yeah.
I love how passionate you speak about the group, the aim of the group, its foundation rather, and what you are building within the group. But take me through the challenges of being a Tsonga speaking man in South Africa, moving from probably Limpopo, moving from the outer skates of Gauteng, and coming to Pretoria, the University of Pretoria, and having to stand your ground.
For me personally, I'm a very emotionally strong person, so I know how to handle discrimination and all those kind of things. But being a Tsonga speaking person in South Africa has never been an easy thing, you know, and we've seen that through xenophobic attacks and all those kind of things. So being a Tsonga speaking person in South Africa, when you are in Giyani and when you are in Joburg or Pretoria, it's two different environments, and the type of treatment you receive from people, it's too different. You know, so being from around Gauteng in a place that is very diverse and consists of different cultures and all those things can be a bit strenuous at times, because it's a well-known fact that Tsonga speaking people are very marginalized and discriminated, not only by the society but even by our government, even by politicians. Look at this. Which TV show do you know, Wena, that is based on Xitsonga? Maybe a TV drama or anything. We had Giyani Land of Blood, but for a short period of time. You know, so we need such things. We need young people who are going to do TV shows in Xitsonga, to write Xitsonga books, you know, produce Xitsonga music. So that is why we came up with this whole idea of studying this organization so that we can, you know, advance our culture, because most young people are honestly not interested in advancing our cultures. You know, we are rather interested in hiding our identity. So myself and my group, we are that group of people that is saying, let's make it right to be a Tsonga person. Let's be proud to be Tsonga speaking people, and not take pride in our identity during special occasions on the 24th of September. You know, so we're saying people should embrace their culture each and every day. This is actually one reason I didn't wear any traditional outfit today, because I do not want to succumb to this colonial social structure that drives black people to only embrace their identity only once in 365 days. Doesn't make sense to me. So,
but would you then argue the fact that it's been made a date in South Africa, the 24th of September, but it is also a date that celebrates this iconic thing, but in each year it's up to an individual to celebrate that? So would you say that we have succumbed not to celebrate our identity, our heritage, our culture, because of what society thinks or deems is right?
What I'm saying is that it shouldn't be right for black people to celebrate their identity, to take pride in their heritage and culture on the 24th of September only. We should do it every day. It should become a norm. You know? So
I want us to talk about, how do you then celebrate your heritage every day? Is it in wearing our traditional attires every day? Is it in speaking our native languages? How do you celebrate it on a daily?
For me personally and my group, how we do it is that on Thursday we have something called Tsonga Thursday each and every week. So all our members, we even do it on social media. We wear our traditional outfits each and every Thursday, and we go online and post our pictures. We try to play Tsonga music, you know, around, you know, and eat Xitsonga meals and all those things. And for me personally, I do speak Xitsonga each and every day. Each and every person that I come across, I speak Xitsonga with them until maybe I realize that they can't hear me.
Understand.
And then that's when I can switch. But I don't like speaking English. I actually don't like the fact that we are all Africans here, but we are speaking a colonial language. Doesn't make sense.
Now I just want us to talk about, like, what I'm hearing, it's not necessarily just about the dance itself, right? But you are a movement, making sure that Xitsonga people come together. But now tell us, you can even now answer in your Xitsonga language.
Please.
Just tell me, what initiatives or what is it that you do to make sure that you are heard and people can actually just join the movement?
Okay, so I believe that education is very important, and educating people, our culture, is very, very important. So for us to be heard, for us to be known, we need to educate people. We need to give people information and tell them about us, you know, for us to eradicate all the stereotypes and negative opinions or perceptions that people have about us. We need to educate those people. So it's not only a movement of us saying, okay, Vatsonga, let's celebrate our culture, but we also try to include on the stuff we do. So because of that, group doesn't only have we have Pedi speaking people, we even have white people, you know. So
and I think when Rosang, this conversation has sparked more conversation about culture and heritage amongst us as the native people, rather. But I'd like to give you a perspective. We see Abonomza Mombata on other platforms on the red carpets wearing Zulu beads. We are seeing people addressing other people in. We saw Trevor Noah at the stage, world stage, speaking in Zulu, making a joke about white people not being able to hear him. But I'd say, sitting here, I'd argue the fact that we don't celebrate it every day, but we don't celebrate it as loudly as we do on the 24th of September. You'd find every corner at every taxi rank, there's Tsonga music, there's Zulu music, but it's how we identify with how we celebrate our music. And would you argue with that with me?
I don't think I understand that. Can you please rephrase it for me?
Well, I'm saying that we see other people celebrating our culture, our heritage in multiple different ways on any given day. So we're seeing the taxi ranks, we have Sitsonga music playing, Xhosa music, Zulu music, and we see them begqoka imbadada. That is part of heritage, it's part of culture, but we are not celebrating it as loudly or as broadly as we do on the 24th of September. Would you then say we are still not celebrating or putting our native culture out there to the world in the manner of which we should?
Yeah, I definitely believe that, and I think there is always a room for improvement, you know, but we are not celebrating it as we do on the 24th of September. So what we are calling for as young people is for black people to come together and celebrate their culture each and every day, utilize each and every single chance that you can. For me personally, when I go for interviews and all that kind of stuff, I do go there wearing my traditional attires when I attend events and all those things. So it shouldn't be a thing of us having to wait for the 24th of September to wear, you know, this outfit. It should be done consistently, and
I hear you very loud and clear. Take us through what you are about to do today for us.
Yes.
So heated conversation it was.
Even right now.
Leswi nga ta humelela lana hileswaku hi ta cina hi ta va na performance, and you guys will see ku ri famba njhani.
And I must commend you for what you are doing. It's actually a good call for us as youth people to actually know where we stem from on a daily, like you said, not just necessarily today. And I really hope to any young person right there for us to actually take charge right now and embrace our heritage and our culture. Thank you so much, Ntaka, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And sharing such light.
Well of wisdom, I'd call him. A well of wisdom for us young people to dig deep and find out all these things and start celebrating all the small things and make them big when, in whatever space they want. So it's a beautiful one.
Yes, and that's all we had for you right here on the Midday Express on our Heritage Day special from us. Like a beautiful performance. I can't do it. I'll leave it to the professionals, but catch us again at same time, same place. So from myself,
and myself, umntana wasemabheleni obhele khulu nontando Dlambulo langa lokulunga ombitho ombikazo sompisi ondaba ezithe kanjalo nje sithi qum shelele sinishiya kanjalo nje nishiyeke kahle.
Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with Starsat. Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with Starsat.
China saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite, because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with Starsat.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value.
Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations.
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat.
Aye, hina hi va ka nkulu mpfuna mavutana mavuta va yi twile na kuxonga mavuta twile na kuxonga mavuta u khoma na kuxonga hina hi va ka nkuna mavutana mavuta wa xitlhelani n'wana wo sungula egazankulu wa ku vuyana dzovo ra nghala ra ha tsakama hina hi va mavutana aye
hina hi va ka mangwe wa rimbala wa valoyi hina hi va lavo thava hi siye ka vutlheka hina hi dya mintiti hina hi va ka pungwani hina mangwe hi vatsonga hi tivaneni
Bengu,
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana